What's going on, guys? It's your favorite mortgage lender, Abdel Kwame, got mortgages. I have got Mr. Podcast himself,
My man.
Jimmy Joseph, a.k.a. Jimmy Mortgage.
Yes,
Jimmy,
sir.
appreciate you jumping on, my friend.
Yeah, yo, like I said, you're a motivator, man. I would never say no to you, man. This is a good opportunity, man.
You're the man.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to get right into it.
Okay.
Obviously, expectations, talk about the market.
Right.
You've been in the game now for about
5 years.
5 years?
Five,
okay.
6 years. Yeah.
So you came in, I guess,
2019.
right around.
Yeah.
So you got a little bit of a taste
Right.
of pre-COVID.
Yeah. My numbers are skewed.
And then and then COVID.
Right. Yeah.
I think you're probably like me too, right? You're very heavy purchase.
Heavy purchase. Correct. That's correct.
Right.
That's correct. Yeah.
Say like 95% purchase.
95%. Almost. I'd say 98.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny, right? I started in 18, which feels like, I always say, 6-7 years in the game.
Right.
It feels like 50.
Yeah, man. The hours you put in, man, it'll get to you, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, right? So
Right.
So pre-COVID, what were some of the things that you're finding moving the needle versus some of the stuff that you're doing now?
So, to be honest with you, when I was during the COVID, business was easy, right? Someone threw out a rate. I come at it. There was a competition.
Sure.
I'll go a quarter and eighth. I'm getting the deal, right? Not a big deal. So I felt at the time it was always going to be easy, right? No, I found out the hard way it's not easy. Because once all that does settle down, now it's like you're having conversation with people what they want to do strategy-wise, right?
Sure.
What does their down payment look like? You're structuring the product, right? You're telling them you do this, you need to talk to a financial advisor because you don't put all your eggs in one basket. So it gave me an opportunity to just be more educational with it because I'm coming from a fixed income private banking background. But should I talk too much about strategy? Because, when it comes to people with mortgages, they just save me money, right?
Sure.
So I took the educational approach, and I'm doing better now with it.
I love that.
Yeah, man.
And listen, education moves the needle.
Absolutely.
Right. And I love the fact that what you're doing consistently.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Which is hypercritical, in this game.
Right.
Now you're still following that approach now.
Absolutely, yeah. Actually, I'm getting better with it because now I have a team to focus on my podcast, and I'm going back to the basics when it comes to acquiring new clients, man, because not everybody's on social media, right? We have to, just because I'm highlighted on social media doesn't mean that most of my clients are coming from social media, right? 2 years ago, yes. Last year, 56% of my business came from social media.
Wow.
But what happened to the other half? You got to do the basics. So now I'm intentionally for 2026, of course, with the talks with you, going back to the basics, man, making those phone calls, following up, and a little more niche to it, talking to more financial advisors, I want to put them in my bucket.
I love that.
Yeah,
well,
man.
Listen, you're doing a phenomenal job of knowing your KPI, your number.
Yes.
So saying 56% of your business comes from social.
Right.
So you identify that, you wouldn't have realized, all right, where's my other 50 or 44%?
44%,
Right. Where can I double down on that?
Right.
You're doing a better job at me with social 56. We're only at 17.
Wow.
Yeah.
As much value put out there?
As of December. Well, I always look at it this way, right? Like that 17% is where a lead originated from social.
Okay.
My take on social, it does a lot of the social selling for you.
Right.
And you're much better at the podcast stuff than I am.
Right.
We do stuff like this where I set it up and stuff for our company. But I love the fact that you're doing it and you're not just concentrating on real estate.
No.
Right? You've had some guests who, I always say every industry does tie in somewhat to
real estate. Right. It's the component. It's the asset, right? It's the asset, right? Yeah.
And you mentioned financial advisors. Financial advisors was almost like 13% of our business.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're talking high volume.
Right.
But 13% is a big
It's a big
portion.
number. It's pretty big, man.
And you said it in passing too. When I asked you 2019, you mentioned education, but then you mentioned connecting them with a financial advisor to talk about that stuff.
You got to have those conversations. Even when you're setting up the house with the wills and estates, that's a lead for another real estate lawyer, right? Like, you can't be like, hey, here's the house. What do you plan on doing? And some people are skeptical about putting information out there, but do you know if you go probate, that's public information. If the realtor's not letting you know that, is he or she doing a good job?
Sure.
I thought we were all relationships.
Yeah.
So these are the things that I'm doing. I'm coaching realtors. Have that conversation, man.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we've already talked about it, right? But branding.
Yeah,
right?
branding.
Branding is huge.
Right.
You're obviously repping your brand.
Right.
You know me. I don't wear anything except our stuff.
Right. Got
and,
mortgage.
and we have fun with it.
Right.
What kind of made you, think about, all right, I'm always going to think of my brand, and how have you seen it be successful in your business?
That's a good question, and it's interesting you bring that question up now because Monday I had that conversation with my team. I gotta be a mortgage professional again. The branding is good, it feels good, but likes and impressions doesn't always pay bills, right? As you know, you kill what you make, right? That's how life works. But what it does is that I'm able to live rent-free in people's heads. So
Sure.
Now that I have a team, I've established that company. Now I can focus on me being the mortgage, the LO, the mortgage advisor, it's the stuff I like, the numbers going backwards, calculating the DTI. And now I have my team that helps me do that. Now I just go up, talk to somebody, and then that's it. People know who I am. I walk into a room, they're like, I know that guy. That's it. And I'm just, let's talk about it.
You bring a good point too, because you know me, I'm big into tech and AI.
Yeah,
right?
you are.
Like,
sure,
like
right.
huge into that.
Mm-hmm.
But you brought a good point where you're like, I got to go back to basics.
Yeah.
Right. And I always have that conversation too with myself, or with my team, or our region, and whoever, because, we get pulled into something, right? For example, like the podcast, or you get pulled into something like AI and tech, and you forget what moved the needle in the beginning.
Yeah, right.
Which was like, yo, I want to be able to pick up the phone and talk to Jimmy.
Right.
I want to be able to actually do that. And it's funny. It was about 3 years ago.
Right.
We were in triple play, literally, and one of my top partners, we're bullshitting. We had a couple drinks in us, so a little bit more transparent.
Right.
And I had told him, I'm like, yo, what's going on, blah, blah. And he had told me, he goes, obviously we love you, right? They're one of my top partners. He goes, but we do notice that you text and email a lot more, a lot,
right?
As opposed to sometimes picking up the phone.
Right.
And then I'm like, yo, it's funny you mentioned that. And I wasn't as purposeful with my KPIs as now.
Right.
So I started looking back, and I noticed almost 75% of our communication was digital.
Yeah.
Text or email.
Right.
And I looked back before, and it was probably only 25%, 30%. And for me, I was like, yeah, but bro, you're getting updated, you're doing this, you're doing that.
Right.
And I'm like, and it made me realize that I got to go back to that way.
Mm-hmm.
So what my team does now, weekly,
right,
is using AI, I've got ChatGPT integrated with my calendar.
Right, yes. Your assistant.
So, totally.
Yeah.
So it actually tells me at the end of every week how many emails I sent and how many emails I received.
Right, that's important.
And then it also tells us too, going back to our point, right? It tells us the importance of how much I stayed on the phone with calls. So my team will extract we have T-Mobile.
Right.
So they extract my calls, and it tells me how many calls I made.
Oh, really?
And the minutes.
Okay, then you're really analytical
I'm
with it, man.
in it,
Yeah.
Because it allowed me the opportunity to be like, okay, going back to basics.
Right.
I gotta be on the phone.
Yeah, you do.
Right?
You do.
And in some instances, some clients might want that, or some clients want the fast-paced, what's up, what do you got?
And that's okay, right? Those are good. I mean, but to your point, right? The basics. I'm so basic with it. Sometimes I'll use the notepad and I'll write their full name and their cell number just to say, yeah, I did it. I crossed them out. I left them a voice message. I don't even use spreadsheet.
No.
I do the basics, and you'll see my office pages and pages and pages, and then if it's a good connect, now you saved on my phone.
Now you can bang it out.
Now you can bang it out, and now we have this Yeah, you have to. It makes you feel good too about it, right? Because like you said, everything is so technology driven, and it's good. It feels good. Speed is there, but sometimes you have to slow down to win
and take the personal approach.
Take the personal approach. Yeah, man.
So 2026 next month.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to heading into next year?
I keep going back and forth. I got the branding. I'm affirming it's there. Being more approachable with the mortgage business. I got to go back to it again. I forgot a lot of things, and my numbers did reflect that.
Sure.
And so, going back to what you and I were going back and forth behind the scenes, habits. I'm telling you right now, man, I make my own bed now, and it's because of Adele, right? Getting those functional things in my mind to say,
Sure.
okay, if I start from here, it's gonna end right here. Go back to the grind, and like anything else, let the scoreboard reflect it.
Sure. I love that.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
listen, man, appreciate you.
I appreciate
You're
you,
the man.
brother. Yeah, man.
Definitely look forward to collaborating more.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
And taking it from there.
I appreciate you, man.
Thanks, brother. You're the man. I'll talk to you.
Likewise.
Thanks, guys.